Hello, beautiful humans. Let's see if this will work for the live. Just waiting for notification that we are going to go live here on BlueWater Oracle. You're now live. Woohoo! Live. Here we are. Welcome. So I'm going to wait a few moments for this to kind of kickstart and to get a few people on to join us. Hopefully, I just got the notification on my phone. That's super fun. So hopefully if you follow my page here, you will also get notification to let you know when I come on live. So it is Friday late afternoon my time. So I am in a Montreal time zone, Eastern Daylight Time. I am just west of Montreal. And for those who don't know me, my name is Sheila Bicknell. I am BlueWater Oracle, and I am an intuitive, I'm a card reader, and I come forward to bring guidance and wisdom and to help bring some balance to this adventurous life of ours, right? There's never a lack of adventures in this journey. And so I'm here to try to help clear up the fog, help see some action steps for the path, and to better understand what the heck is going on for each of us and in our own journeys. So when I do individual readings, I work with multiple decks. And when I come on to do live sessions, I do the same thing. I use multiple decks as I pull for you to try to help out. Tonight we're going to do a little bit different today, this afternoon. So thanks for joining me. If you're new here, welcome. Happy to see you. I'm just going to click to get the comments coming up properly. Let me just refresh. Hopefully the video and the audio are okay. Sometimes they're a little finicky, but feel welcome to share. Also, if you want to tag anybody and welcome them in, feel welcome to share. So what we're going to do today is a little bit different. Instead of doing individual readings, I'm going to do a general reading, but I'm going to practice and play with a new layout that I am working on. So I thought about doing a special on readings for the solstice. Summertime approaching for us here in the north. Winter, a lot of you are already in winter in the southern hemisphere, depending on whether you do it with solstice or whether you do it with the date on the calendar. And so we change seasons with solstice here. So it will be next Tuesday, we'll be switching into summer. It certainly has felt quite summery. We've had some really big storms roll through. I think there's another one rolling through this afternoon. So if I suddenly disappear, that's probably what's happened. It's probably a big thunderstorm getting ready to roll through. But otherwise, we've got gardens blooming, we've got local produce coming in, and it is fabulous. So I wanted to do the summer special because it gives people a chance to have a reading where maybe they wouldn't otherwise, or maybe it's an interest in a different way for you because it's a different type of reading in the sense that it's following a specific layout. So as you know, I work with oracle cards and tarot cards and I read them intuitively. The idea of having a specific layout is that it helps each position to give a designated plan, and then the intuition works with that with the cards. So this is a reading that is, of course, a little bit familiar with some of the basic readings and strong readings people will do, like the Celtic Cross. I've seen readings on the Tree of Life and other types of readings, of course, and there will be many other layouts for summer solstice or for solstice energy. So this one that I'm doing is going to be a mix of things. It's an 8-card spread so far. So what I'm going to do with you here, anybody who wants to hang out with me, is that we're going to do a general for this season, for this energy, for the weekend approaching, and you'll get a sense of what this reading is so that if you're interested, if it's something that you would like for yourself, then you're going to be aware of what it is when I put up the special, or you can let me know beforehand, hey, I'm interested, I would love to have a reading with that layout. So what we've got going on, it will be 8 positions, 8 cards. So first one will be current energies. So what energies are you going through? And we're going to read general today. So current energies, then we're going to look at the past 6 months because we're at a halfway point in the year. So we're June to July. So we're halfway point. So the past 6 months, what do we need to know? What is information that's important to have? And then we'll do another card on a bit longer past. Is there anything that's lingering, anything that needs to be dealt with that is in our longer past? Then we're going to go to the other side and we're going to look at what do we need to know? What do you need to know for the next month? What is important? It's not to predict the future, it's to help you to see energies or to be aware of things that are coming or things that might occur and give you some heads up, gives you some way to navigate through. Hi Karen, hi Amanda, hi Andrea, happy to have you here. I'm glad you could make it, and anybody else who's tuning in and watching. Then we're going to look at the next 6 months, so energies, insights, things to be aware of. Then we'll go into any challenges. So being aware of, being shown challenges right now, because especially in the northern hemisphere, the sunlight, we're in our brightest days, our longest days. So we can utilize that light to show us things. For those in the southern hemisphere, it would be you heading into your darkest time. So your challenge is going to be something that's really going to be shown to you and very important coming through that dark. So up in the north, it's just a slightly different take. But this can be a layout that can work for both lower and upper hemispheres. Then, what's helping? So what is the brightness, the bigness of the light showing you that is helping? Or what could you grow? What could you embrace? What could you blossom with or into? And then the last card is what is needed right now. So that's the 8-card spread that I've got looking at. And we're going to pull some cards together and get some energies on these things in general. And that way you can have a play with this layout. And then, of course, I will be offering the special as it comes up soon. But I wanted to play with it first, and I thought it was a different take on doing general cards. So let's get started. So I'm not going to pull the whole layout to start with. I'm going to do it one by one as we go. And hopefully you're able to tune in, watch it later, watch it live, and hopefully it's going to give you some interesting insights in general about what's going on. I apologize, I always have one hair that makes me crazy. And it catches a shadow and then it looks really funny to me. So I apologize for that. Meanwhile, while I'm getting ready for this, why don't you let me know, how are you doing? How is your week been? How is your weekend if you're already starting? Perhaps you're getting ready for supper, you're ending your work day, or maybe you're Saturday morning and you're getting your coffee and your tea. Are you doing gardening? Are you outside? Is it family time? Or is it self-care time? I would love to know. So, first one we're going to look at. So this is a summer solstice special that I'm working on, a special layout that I put out today just to myself to play with it. And I thought, hey, let's look at this together. So a little different for our live tonight. We're going to look at this and see what might come up. And then maybe I'll share this onto my YouTube to see if it will help other people. And then we'll go from there. So current energies. What do we need to know? Current energies in our world and our lives. Moving into the end of this week, into this weekend, and also moving into solstice season. So I'm going to look at all of my cards. This does not have to be a tarot layout. You can do it with oracle cards as well. You work with the cards that you prefer, that give you the most resonance, or like me, have multi-decks, and then you go intuitively with what do I need, what am I going to work on in the moment. So if I was doing this for you privately, I would lay out the 8 cards already and then go through them one by one. But here tonight, we're going to shuffle as I go. So first card, the first position is the current energies. So what do we need to know about the current energies? What will be helpful as we step into this weekend, as we step into solstice and the new season starting next week? So I'm going to the Earth Magic Oracle cards, which is a deck by Stephen Farmer. And the card I pulled right now is the Cave, is Sanctuary. So, that suggests to me that, yep, there's a lot going on. There are things that are happening. There are things that people are experiencing. And the need to have that sanctuary time is really important. So one of the things that feels necessary with this sanctuary card is that you need to have your safe space. You need to have your place in the world where you feel safe. It can be an inner place, somewhere you visualize, somewhere you go within in meditation, in visualization, in hanging out with yourself. But it could also be a physical space. So it could be your bedroom, it could be your whole home, maybe it's your garden, maybe it's a forest nearby, maybe it's a friend's house or a family member's house. So if we put this into the position of current energies in this solstice layout, the cave sanctuary is a reminder that, okay, we need to have that sanctuary, that safe space, that sanctuary time. And what I feel bigger than that as a broad general part of the reading is that this card is also speaking about that we need to be able to offer sanctuary to other people. So it isn't only sanctuary for ourselves, that's primary, that's first, but then how do we offer sanctuary to others? So maybe we don't have a place that they can come. Maybe we can't open our homes to them or offer them food, although maybe you can. But perhaps it is in how you behave. Perhaps you offer sanctuary to people by not approaching them with criticism, with judgment, with harsh energies, but giving them sanctuary that when they speak to you, they are almost always going to get a safe place to fall, a safe place to double check, to verify information and insights that they need. So that's an interesting aspect of sanctuary, and that feels very broad. It feels very worldwide at this moment, that the concept of sanctuary is important because there's stuff happening in the world that is the polar opposite of it, and the world wants to balance. So how can you bring about sanctuary for yourself, for your own needs, for your own person, and then also be that for other people? Hi, Patricia, welcome. So what I'm doing tonight is a general card reading. I have created a solstice layout that I'm going to offer on special over the next couple of days, if not tonight. And so I wanted to practice it, to test it out, to see how it feels, and to do a general reading. So you're more than welcome to hang out with me as I go through this. Open your own intuition, listen to what is of value to you about this general layout. And of course, if I was reading for you, it would be a little bit different because I'd be reading directly for you. So hopefully that will happen as well. Good morning, Joy. So this card, Cave Sanctuary, would be in the first position of this layout, which would be current energies. Okay. Second position of this layout is going to be the past 6 months. So what do we need to know? What is something that is of value, of interest, or is lingering that needs to be made aware of to help us as we move forward? So because it's the June, it's the midpoint of the year, we want to know past 6 months, and then we'll look forward 6 months. So the past 6 months, I am getting called to the Gateway Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. So a little different live tonight for those who have been on before. I'm not doing individual readings. I'm doing a general layout, but hopefully it will be of value to you. And if it is, then thank you for liking and for sharing. And for anybody who follows me, you know that I am on a mission to get to 1,000 likes on my page. I have more followers than that, and I feel very blessed. I think I'm at 994 likes. So if you follow my page but you don't like it, maybe you would do me the honor of pressing the like button also so that we can get those likes up, because 1,000 just seems like a fabulous thing, and hitting that for solstice would also be great. So thank you for considering that if that's something that feels good to you. So in the solstice layout, we're going to look at past 6 months. What is energy? This is general. What is energy we need? We get hearing messages from spirit. So we had this come up in my group last week. I have my own membership group called the Oracle Cove, where we do readings every week, written and live sessions. And this was the card we had last week. So it says hearing messages from spirit. And it says I'm a clear channel for messages from spirit. So if I think about the last 6 months from January to now, what have been messages you have received from spirit that are important to you? You have to take on what spirit means for you. Is it divine? Is it higher self? Is it people who have passed over? Is it your spirit team, your guidance system? Is it the energy of the universe? Do you work more with energy rather than with entities as you like? So what have been your messages? So this to me feels as though in the past 6 months, there would be a lot of people who will watch this, listen to this, whether now or on replay, who are feeling a higher connection, a more full, more developed connection with spirit energy, divine energy, communication using intuition and psychic connections. So if that resonates with you, then this is something for you to be aware of so that you can carry that forward if it feels of importance to you. And sometimes these things just happen, right? We get messages, we get insights, we get aware of things, but maybe we don't really bring that awareness, that consciousness of it. So if that is your case, then what you would want to do is to really make yourself aware. What have you seen? What signs have you seen? What messages did you get? How do you receive that information so that as you step forward into the next 6 months, you can develop that and continue to use that and continue to work with that. Okay? Hi, Tanya. So we're doing a solstice layout. I'm testing it out for an upcoming special I would like to offer. So current energies, we got the Cave Sanctuary card. Past 6 months insight, we get the hearing messages from Spirit with the affirmation, I am a clear channel for messages from Spirit. All right? So then the next card, the third card of this 8-card layout will be longer past. So something else from your past, from your history, from the journey so far that you need to know, you need to be aware of, you need to be working for. Tanya's asking, have I changed settings on comments? Not that. I think I've only restricted it for accounts that are like brand new, literally, like somebody made an account, yesterday, then it might not allow them to chat. But otherwise it should be the same as usual. So if it's appearing different, it might just be something slow or a glitch in the system. So sorry about that if that's what's happening. But hopefully it's working okay. So the third card on this solstice layout that I'm testing out would be longer past. So let's have a look here. So this one I'm getting drawn to the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. Okay. So this is me testing out a summer solstice layout that I created earlier today. It has very similarities with other layouts such as the Celtic Cross and other reading layouts that people use. It's just one that I put together for an upcoming special. So it's 8 cards, 8 positions. So this one is longer past. So we get the Page of Swords, all right? So the time of being sort of young and just allowing your thoughts to go all over the place and maybe getting sucked into the drama and the issues of other people. The message is those times are done. So this is really an invitation for you to be aware of what is going on, what is happening with you, right? What do you need to do right now? So if you're somebody who had drama around you or got sucked into drama, if you had ways of thinking that you look back and you go, that really doesn't represent me now, this is really a good method to see, a good card, a good invitation to get you conscious of, in this sort of my history, my past, what is no longer something I want to carry forward. So the page can be that young energy, they can be that mutable, changeable, flexible energy. But in this case, it's representing that kind of almost, it could be an almost immaturity or a tendency that you don't want to develop more and more. You want to actually leave behind you. So you take the sword of intellect, mindset, thoughts, and shift into something that is more valuable to you. So it could be a way of changing it. Maybe you're going into a page in the sense of I'm going to open an apprenticeship in a new way of thinking, avoiding the drama, not getting sucked into the same cycles that I used to do. So of course, if this is something that you would need to work on, then we would expand on that in this reading or in another reading if we're working together. Okay. So sorry, I missed a couple of comments there. Yes, we do sometimes get a lot of spam people. Sometimes the settings on the comments help, sometimes they really don't. On Facebook, sometimes it helps, sometimes it really doesn't. Karen says, I like that as I want to be the best I can be. So it'd be good to see if there are any patterns on repeating. Yes, absolutely. And this is one of the ideas of doing this type of a reading, is that it's not quite as long as the Celtic Cross, which is fabulous, but is an extra 4 or more cards. So this is 8 cards. I thought it would be smaller, but no, it's apparently going to be 8 cards. So there we go. Hi, Jeanette. Hi, Patricia. So we're going through a Solstice Special card reading layout that I'm working on. I wanted to test it out, and I thought, hey, I'll come on and test it out with you guys. So the first card that we got for the current energies, Cave Sanctuary. So this is general world leading up to the weekend and to solstice. Past 6 months, things we want to be aware of, hearing messages from spirits, things we might want to carry forward from spirit, not from spirits. And then longer past is the Page of Swords. So it really came with that energy of, you know, being aware if we get sucked into conflict, thoughts that we don't want to bring forward. Do we get drawn into drama? And that's not who we are now, and we don't want to carry that forward. So that's that kind of energy. So then we're going to shift forward, and we're going to go to in the next month. So for us, general, we're going to look at the next month. So we're going to look at June to July, and the solstice starting and all of that sort of energy. And I apologize as we get somebody who comes on as a spam person, so you're more than welcome to report, and I will ban people afterwards, okay? So feel welcome to report. My apologies. Do not accept friend messages from anybody. Do not send your messages. You usually, when you look at their profiles, you can tell that they're not genuine, they're not real, they're either a computer or they're somebody you don't really want to be working with. So yeah, just let that roll off you. Don't even pay attention to that. Hi Lisa. Hi Patricia. Okay, so our next card for this Solstice Special Layout that I'm looking at and testing out would be for the next month. What's energy coming forward? So in the next month, I want to get drawn to, obviously this is multi-card, it's going to work with all different cards. And I'm going to go to the Soul Coaching Oracle cards, another deck by Denise Lynn. So next month energy, what do we want to look at? Oh, acceptance. Very powerful. So we have things within our lives. We have things within our life situations that we just need to accept. So over the next month, using that solstice energy. So in the north, it's that bright light, long days, big summer growth. In the winter, in the southern hemisphere, it's that sort of cocooning, that going into the cave, but in a different way. So there's things in our situations that we need to accept. What are you fighting against? What are you battling against? What are you resisting? And is that resistance valuable? Is it necessary? Is it helpful? And then, of course, there's self-acceptance. So the affirmation on this card is gorgeous. It says, I unconditionally accept, cherish, and love myself just as I am. So this solstice energy is coming up to say to you, all right, what is it about you that you're not accepting, you're not loving, you're not cherishing? And how do you embrace that? How do you welcome that? How do you accept that part of you? It is a part of you. Is it something that you can work on, that you want to work on, that you want to shift, release, change, improve? Maybe. But at the moment, it is what it is. So if you are putting it aside, if you're stuffing it in a box, if you're hiding it, if you're not allowing it to show you and to work with you, what are you doing against yourself? You want to be embracing. Remember, solstice, especially summer, those of us in the north, it is big growth, big light, embracing, growing. Okay, so this feels really important. So this is over the next month. So this is a general reading, so something to be really aware of over the next month. Okay? Good. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to be aware of. And then we're going to look at the next 6 months. So then what do we want over the next 6 months? What is important for us to know about? What is necessary? What is coming up? What energies do we want to be working with from June to December? Okay? As Jeanette is saying, this makes so much sense. I am glad. I am glad. So this is, if you're just tuning in, hi, my name is Sheila Bicknell on BlueWater Oracle. You're here on my BlueWater Oracle page or watching it from somebody who shared it somewhere. So I am testing out a summer solstice special layout that I would like to offer over the next week or so that people can have a reading and we can look at what has been and what is coming as we're at this midpoint of the year. So I'm testing it out because it's a layout I just sort of put together earlier today. So the next part, so card 5 is going to be the next 6 months. So I'm going to the Robin Wood Tarot. This is the back of it, very Celtic-y. So next 6 months, we get the Hermit. Aha. So remember, our current energies in this reading was the cave, the sanctuary card, reminding us we need to have sanctuary for ourselves, right? So then a month ahead, we're looking at acceptance, accepting ourselves, accepting certain things in our life. 6 months, as we roll through the next 6 months, what is the card that wanted to come out the most? It's the Hermit. So will there be needs to hermit? Will there be needs to really be yourself, be with yourself, be present in your own energy? Yeah, probably. So this could mean that, yeah, you want to go and hide and you want to go into the cave. But the way it's presenting more to me is in recognition of this beautiful big light that this hermit is carrying. So it's you really being you. So if the you being you means you have more time on your own to take care of you and to represent your full self to yourself, then you would want to do that. If the you being really you is you bringing your brightness out into the world, out to other people, shining your light, if that's how you be you, then you need to do that, and you'll want to do that and be aware of that over the next 6 months. So there's something about this card that is saying over this 6 months, the more you know about you, the more you are aware of yourself, accepting of yourself, not getting caught up as it had in the previous past stuff card with other people's drama and other people's stories, the better you're going to be able to see your path forward and work with those steps. Because the Hermit, to me, in both of the decks that I use, yes, he represents as an older individual. So there's that wisdom, that elder wisdom. And he's often somewhere up on a mountain, on a path. But he's also a way shower. He's got the light. And this fellow has a lovely, funky red shoes. So he's got that, okay, yes, I'm older and I'm got that wisdom, but I've also got the really funky red shoes and I'm ready to go. Yeah, just feel welcome to report people if they are doing spam. You do not need to comment to them because they're probably not really here, not real people. Just report and I will delete later because generally they're not real profiles. Okay, so I apologize that they are hanging out. Let me check. There was a couple of comments before that. So Patricia's saying card's really speaking to her. That's excellent. Monique saying you like it. That's great. So I'm so happy. So I apologize again for the spam. They do come on to some of these lives. And I will delete them later on. I will ban them later. But they have their own path. They have their own ways. So just ignore, do not accept messages from people. Check their profiles, see if they look real, and be very cautious. All right, so this was the card in this solstice layout for the next 6 months. So June through to the end of the year, through to December. Hermit, but with a different commentary on it. So let me know, does that sound interesting? Really speaking to you, really being you, okay? Now, of course, if I was doing this reading directly for you, it would be specifically for your life over the next month and then over the next 6 months. So then the 6th card on this solstice layout is, let me just double check. It's a challenge card. So it would be under the current energies if I was putting it in the layout. So it's what's being shown to you is a challenge. What do you want to work on? What do you need to work on? So that is coming in here. So let's have a look. Which card wants to come forward? So my decks are conferring, which is always fascinating to me. When I can feel, because I have a whole bunch of decks that I work with, and I can feel sometimes that it's like pieces of a chessboard moving, trying to figure out which one is, and then they settle on a card. So we're going to settle on the native spirit. So challenge could be difficulties, could be something you need to work on, but right now it just feels like a challenge. Let me just refresh the comments. And if you're new here on BlueWater Oracle, welcome. My name is Sheila Bicknell on BlueWater Oracle and all of my social media and my website, BlueWaterOracle.com. I'm an intuitive, I'm a card reader, I have a past in clinical nutrition, so I have the sciencey background as well. And I love bringing readings so that we can help clear up your path, so that I can step between you and divine knowledge and wisdom for people. So tonight I'm not doing individual sessions. I'm just doing a general card reading, working on a new special that I'm going to be putting out probably over the weekend, which is a Solstice Special. So I'm testing out a new layout and doing a general reading with that one. So I'm not pulling individual cards tonight. Okay, so for the challenge, so general reading today, what is a challenge that we, the world, some of you are facing over this next weekend and in this solstice time? What do we want to be aware of? So from the Native Spirit Oracle cards by Denise Lynn, we get the Sweat Lodge. So I had this recently for somebody. So, all right, there is some stuff that just has to be worked on. There is some stuff that you're avoiding, I'm avoiding, maybe the world is avoiding. Right? So think about it from the perspective of, what do you know you need to be working on? What do you know you need to put into action? You know you need to put attention on, but you're just not doing it. Okay? If that makes sense to you, the Sweat Lodge is saying it would be as if you just got to stuff yourself into the Sweat Lodge. You have to just get in there and get her done. You've got to do some of this. Right? Yes, it's a challenge card. So think brightness of summer for those of us in the north. Summer solstice, bright light, longest day. And what do we pull? The nighttime Sweat Lodge card. So sometimes in a challenge, yeah, we just got to hunker down and get things done. So if there's something that you are really aware of, and make it detailed. So Patricia's saying maybe it's about her, working on her. So give yourself a detail to work on. Yes, it could be general, but my sense of this is that the more you specifically focus on one thing, one action, one challenge, the easier it will be to address something. So for those of you like Jeanette and Patricia saying working on myself, then pick one aspect. So is it the self-acceptance card that came up for the next month? Is it accepting something about yourself, loving yourself? Is it a particular thing in your life that you've been avoiding that you need to be working on? So that kind of energy. Okay, super interesting. I find this fascinating. And that's why I wanted to test out this layout to see with all of you, to see, is it going to be a good one for this time of year? Is it going to be a good one to offer on special to my clients? And so far, I would say, yes, it is. So we're going to continue, okay? So you may not need to be in the Sweat Lodge, but you might want to say, hey, the Cave Sanctuary from our first card, Current Energies, I'm going to use that sanctuary. I'm going to give myself that Cave Sanctuary time to work on fill in the blank. Okay? You're very welcome. You are very welcome. So interesting. Okay? And it's also got, I don't know if you can see it, it's got a comet or a shooting star up here. Can you see that? So that also makes me think of that choose one thing. And in my own group this week, in my Oracle Cove groups, I have a membership group where I do readings. Our general reading for the week, our group guidance for the week is about, double checking. Am I making things really big and broad, or am I breaking them down into bite-sized pieces? So when I do readings for individuals and my own group and here on a live, there will be tendencies in the energy that I pick up on and I work. So we're seeing that here. So if any of my Cove members are going to watch this later, this is a reinforcement of stuff we're talking about this week. Okay? So Sweat Lodge, challenge, things to work on, things to be aware of. Okay? Then the 7th card of this 8-card layout, Solstice Special Layout that I'm testing out. Okay? Hi Laura, welcome. And you're welcome for you, Jeanette and Patricia. You are welcome. Okay? So things to be aware of. It's good. So the 7th card of this 8-card layout, Summer Solstice or Solstice Special Layout, is let me find my notes. It is, what is helping? So we just did challenge. And now what would be helpful to us? So if you think of the bright light of summer solstice, what is it going to show us? What is it going to show that is either coming in to help or that we can help ourselves with through growing, embracing, blossoming, all of that? Laura is enjoying camping in the mountains this week. Good, enjoy. I hope you have a wonderful time. I'm just going to read Karen's comment. I've read that we're here to learn lessons and sometimes things come again and again. But I also read that we can't learn everything this lifetime. So I find it frustrating because I really dislike conflict with people and try to stay away from it. Is this a common problem with your clients? I think some clients, not everybody, because everybody to me, when I work with people and the more I learn about people and who we are and how we live, is that some people are working on certain things and not on other things. And some people are really good at certain things and not at other stuff. So I would say that having conflict is in general something that a lot of people don't love and don't want, but also getting ready for and understanding that, okay, is this a lesson I'm learning? Do I want to be learning it? Am I trying to learn it? Is the world and the universe telling me you're going to learn it whether you like it or not? That happens. But then balancing it with your choices, your decisions. And remember, in this layout that we've worked on so far, the card that represented further past, so for the group energy here today, for anybody watching, listening, so not the past 6 months just, but further past, the card was the Page of Swords, and it brought up the idea of what are conflicts that I don't need to get involved in, drama that I don't need to get involved in, that are not part of me and are genuinely important to me, to my existence. There are some theories that we never get involved, we never need to get involved in conflict. That I'm not sure about, because we live in a world that is balanced, and sometimes something gets out of balance, and so we have to try to work to bring it back. But what we can really be aware of, and the June reading, so if you go, if you look on my page here, if you find the lightning power card, you'll get the June reading. Or if you had it in my newsletter, you would have received that. There's a sign up for my newsletter in the text on this post. And you can also find it on my page here or on my website. So some of the June energy was saying, with that lightning card, was saying that we really need to be aware of what energy we are bringing into the world and any situation. So if we are entering into a conflict and we are entering it in guns a-blazing, pun not intended and intended, then we are bringing conflict in. Versus, how do we bring it in? Do we come in with kindness but determination? Do we come in with respect but trying to offer a different perspective, trying to offer a different way? Not always easy, not always easy at all. So I get you in what you're saying, that sometimes we want to stay away from it, but sometimes there's something within that conflict or within the reasons why the conflict are coming up that could be very important to you and to your journey. Now, that may not be the case for you. It could be different people, different scenarios, and certainly an individual reading could look at that much more in depth for you or for anybody else who's feeling that way. So the card we're going to now, so again, anybody just tuning in, I'm Sheila, hello. And I am testing out a solstice layout that I came up with earlier today based on other layouts that I'm aware of, specifically to do a special for this solstice season to offer my clients and anybody else who would like a reading an 8-card layout to see kind of where are we at this midpoint of the year and what do you need? What do you need to know about and what's coming and how can we work on things? So the 7th card is the helping card. It's the card that shows what's being shown to you in the bright light that is helping, or what do you need to grow, to embrace, to bring forward. Okay? So let me just see which card wants to come forward with this. Yeah, interesting. So it's going to be the Gilded Tarot, again, by Ciro Marchetti. Okay, so In case you just tuned in, so this is a 7th card of an 8-card reading that I'm testing out the layout to see how it works. The first card, Current Energies, was a Cave Sanctuary card. The second card, which is past 6 months, was Hearing Messages from Spirit. The third card was the longer past, was a Page of Swords. And I read them intuitively, so if you go back on the video after, you'll be able to see all the messages. Then we went forward over the next month. What do we need to be aware of? And we got the Acceptance card. Very important. And beyond that, the next 6 months, we got the Hermit. So interesting energies there. And then here, our Helper card. Okay? And you take what feels right and true to you. So if I say something and you're like, yeah, that doesn't apply to me, don't worry about it. If it is important to you, it will come up in the next little while. So, Helper, we've got the Knight of Wands. Oh, interesting, okay? So what do we need to be growing? What is the bright light showing us? And it brings us a card that represents the fire suit, the Knight. So the Knights can be, if you think about like the old type movies, Knights of Shining Armor, they kind of, rush in, solve things, fix the battles, work on saving the kingdom, saving the people, and then sometimes they run back out. So that can be a quality that's not always so great about knights. We never see the after the last kiss, like what's the next part. So, but here it's coming in as a helpful energy. It's coming in as the bright light of the summer solstice is showing you something. What are you growing? What do you need to embrace? What do you need to bloom? And the first thing I get with this is, what is your passion? What fires you up in your life? So this is a knight who's just stepping forward. The horse is just moving. So it's not rearing up, it's not running. It's just leading that first leg stepping forward. So there's almost that standing in the power of the knighthood, the standing in the value of the wands, the value of that passion and purpose to then step forward. And so what are you passionate about? What are your individual powers? Remember, the June card that I pulled was the lightning, the power card. So we know there's going to be some stormy energy. We know there's going to be some struggles. We each have to look at how we bring things in. But this helper card is saying, hey, remind yourself of your passions, your power. Remind yourself of things that feel purposeful to you. Sit in it, feel it, let it grow within you, and then step forward in that. So something you wouldn't want to do in this energy right now is to deny your passions, to deny your purpose. And remember though, these are always with balance. So the balance point of the knight is not to leap into something that could be dangerous, hazardous, disrespectful, a cautionary tale. You've got to be aware of that, because the knights sometimes do, leap into things without a plan. Not always great. You don't have to have a plan, but you have to be aware. What is this passion? Let me sit in it. What is this purposeful feeling I have? Let me feel it, and then I will go forward from there. Does that make any sense? It's also got a lot of red in this card, that deep sort of pinky red. So for some people here, there's going to be that sense of safety, security, that root chakra energy, that it wants you to root down. So the fire is going to come from deep within the earth, deep within. It's not going to be a flighty kind of thing, okay? It's going to come from deep within. So maybe it'll have that rooting, grounding a little bit before it, woohoo, takes off into something. How does that feel? Let it play with you. Think of this as helpful energy, and then you work with it as you need to. Or we'll do a reading to get a bigger expansion on it. So the last reading of this solstice layout that I've created, that I wanted to play with you tonight, I wanted to test it out, see how it works. So far, very satisfied. Let me know what you think of it. Does it seem cool? Are the positions interesting? So the last card, the 8th card of this 8-card layout, would be the what is needed right now. So we've already had a little bit of a sense of that through the other cards, because my readings are usually guiding. They give you insights and then they guide forward. That's the way that I receive information to help my clients and to help me. It's all interconnected. So what's needed right now with all of this? So this is a general reading, what I'm doing here tonight. So some of you will feel certain things and will take them, but we also have the general energies of the weekend. We also have the solstice coming out. We've got world energies. So what is needed right now with all of that? I'm just going to look at the comments. So Jeanette says, this is great. Yay, I'm so glad. Karen says, so we really have to look deep into ourselves, to be honest. I think so. I think so. And because it comes as the wand, that helpful energy comes as the wand, which is the fire. There is that magic wand kind of aspect, but this is not from a woohoo, jump in, leap off the cliff kind of energy. It's more from what is deep within. And when you're doing this kind of layout, you tie the cards back in. So before we get to the 8th card, if we take our Knight of Wands, our helpful fellow, remembering that our challenge was, okay, what really needs to be dealt with? What do we really need to be working on? Stuff ourselves in the sweat lodge and get her done. Get some stuff taken care of. Okay, what are we avoiding? But then we go, what was a month when we looked at what was a month ahead? What did we have? We had the acceptance. So now you start to see the dots connecting. Self-acceptance, self-love, self-cherishing. Oh, and then we talked about power, passion, purpose, rooting in. Interesting. 6 months along, June to December, we had our Hermit. So there may be times where we really need to be alone. But it would be, what is your biggest expression of you? What is your truest expression of you? Is it more hermiting where you're alone and taking care of yourself? Or is it being out and bold and beautiful and attacking the world in helpful, valuable ways? Right? The light. How are you shining your light? Because remember, he's got those funky red shoes. So there's an individuality to this. So now you see how things tie in together. Okay? So then our 8th card is the what's needed right now. All right, so let me just see which deck wants to come forward. They are all talking. That's not going to help me, my friends. Earth Magic. Okay, so we started with Earth Magic and we're going to go back to Earth Magic, which is one of the reasons that I liked the 8, because we have that figure 8 energy. So again, if you get any spam on here, please report them, especially if their profile does not look real. Report them as a fake profile or for spam energy, and I will ban them from the page later. And if they send you private messages, same thing, report, ban, unless they look really genuine, which usually they're not. Let me just see, shuffle pause, and I apologize if they're doing their spammy spam. Okay. So here, then we get the crystals, the focus. So what is needed right now? Focus. Love this though, because what was our current energy? The cave. What is needed is looking out from the cave, this crystal cave, this purple sort of amethyst kind of thing, looking out to the mountain, looking out to the water. So you have that sanctuary and then you look out with focus. Focus to do what? Focus on whatever else is part of the reading that spoke to you, that is of value. Right? And then you bring in your helpers. So your helpers could be spirit that you've been connecting with over the last 6 months, which was one card. However, spirit is represented to you. Your helpers could be paying attention to that mindset, being careful of conflict like we had with the Knight of Swords. But the helpers could also be something like crystals that you work with, you carry with. It could be cards, things that remind you of your focus. I know a lot of people, I have a lot of contacts who work with Bob Proctor energy. that kind of secret energy, law of attraction. And they will have goal cards that they put in their pockets. They carry them everywhere. Their goals, their dreams, their objectives. So what is your focus? So you go back to, what is that thing that I needed to really pay attention to and take care of for me? And you focus on what's the action, what's the step. But don't make it so serious and so intense that you never want to do it, because that's no fun. But also because that's not the light. So here we've got these gorgeous little lights. Let me put it closer. We've got these gorgeous fairy lights, spirit lights, mystical lights that are going from this cave out into the world. So as this solstice energy comes up, whether you're doing winter or summer solstice, you want to bring up some of that light, bring up some of that solstice magic, work with the energies of the world so it doesn't feel like it's so heavy that you never want to do the stuff you need to do. Focus, but then keep a little bit of that magic. Identify what are the helpers that are going to help me with the magic. And probably it's going to be something that relates to your power, your passion, your purpose, and that rooting into it. Maybe it's a magic wand. Maybe it's a crystal wand. Maybe it is just rooting into yourself and saying, all right, self, what do we need today? How do I focus on me today? How do I focus on the world or the aspect of life that I'm working on and helping? I love that. All right. So you can see how in a layout like this, all of the cards start to communicate together and that you can then bring things in. So Patricia's saying it was like a reading for her. I'm glad. I am so glad. Hi, Melissa. I'm glad you could make it. So I'm sorry for anybody who we're getting spam people. Just report them if you want to, or else I'll ban and delete later on. Okay, but I am glad. So let me know what you think of that. So that's a solstice layout that I came up. It's an 8-card layout. So I'm going to offer this on a special probably over the weekend, if not early next week. And I'll leave it up for a little while. Good pricing because I want to help you. I want to read for you. I love doing this. And you can see in a group setting, you can see how the dots connect. So imagine if I'm reading one-on-one for you, what's going to come up? When the energy, when I am focusing purely on you, bringing in the divine energy and the info and the insights for you. Can you get it yourself? Yes, of course you can. You're an intuitive, connected human, but you're also human. So sometimes your own stuff is challenging to decipher and to work through. And my skills are to help connect those dots between the spirit world, the divine world, the higher self, the through the fog, through the mud where you might be, so we can clear it up and see what's next. What do you need? That is my skill set, and I love doing it. So Patricia's saying she loved this layout. I am so glad. So anybody else, please let me know if you love it. If you missed part of the reading, feel welcome to go back to the beginning. It is me testing out a solstice layout that I want to offer on special for the next little while. So that's our reading session for today. I thank you so much for everybody who's tuned in. If you thought this was of value and of interest, please feel welcome to share or tag people to come in and get to know me. My name is Sheila Bicknell in BlueWater Oracle, and I am based just outside of Montreal in Quebec, Canada, where it is Friday evening. It's about 10 past or almost 15 past 6 in the evening. And I'm going to wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Have a fantastic weekend. And I'm wishing you all the best for solstice. And please look out for this special coming up. It would be my honor and my privilege to read directly for you. Take care of yourselves. You are very welcome. And I hope to see you next time. And if you haven't liked my page, I would love for you to like my page because I am almost at 1,000 likes, which is a super fun objective. So if I can get there before the solstice, it would be fabulous. So please check and see if you've liked my page. If you have not, I would love you to if you feel called to. And if you know of anybody who could, benefit, feel welcome to send them over. I would love to get to know them. So thanks everybody, and I will see you next time. Be well, take care of yourselves and those who are important to you, and take care of our world also, our beautiful Mother Earth, as she is so valuable and takes care of us. Until next time, ciao.